Yeah, I just be so focused on what I'm doing, like, so I get all my work done, and then that's when I come on here to, like, when I look at stuff, but I don't get too indulged in anything. Like, I can barely watch anything because I don't relate to nothing. So I just, like, I watched a few people that I can relate to. I probably watch some stuff here and there, but that's about it. Because most of it is just drama and clickbait, and it just drains your energy, so it's really no point. Like, you're already seeing this stuff for what it is. Like, oh, this is another clickbait. Oh, what just happened? Sometimes it can get you, like, sometimes you can get off track and start indulging in it, but you just gotta get back. You just gotta pivot. Like, oh, I just got distracted a little bit. Like, I just be pivoting back. Like, okay, let me just get back into the present moment. Then I just be having my own stuff to do, so that just keeps me busy and focused. Like,
Yeah, like I've been doing like everything right, but I feel like my energy's kind of been like out of whack this whole time because what I'm paying attention to, my environment, I at least want to cut it by like 80%. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's just these things in a way. But I can like, recalibrate, what I'm saying? Especially with the other person too. That I used to like, talk to and on this channel, I had to cut it off. Not cut it off, it'd be like, you know what? I think we should just move on and just go our separate ways or just not even care no more. Like I didn't go off, but like, I hate you, man. I don't you did this, waste my time. It's just no point. A lot of people get into like stupid beefs and all that shit, like and just talk.
yeah, I just told somebody on my channel. Like, he said something about, like, I forget what it was about, but it was like 10 minutes ago. It was recently. He commented something about a female friend or something, and I was like, there ain't no point in having a female friend if it's not business or you're not gaining nothing out of it. I don't see a point in having, like, friendships with women as a man, because it's like, what am I getting out of it? It's just pointless.
Yeah, like I saw a video. It said that men are more lonelier than ever. The guy talking about it. Then he said that he rather like be alone. He rather have female company than be around dudes anyway. But it's like I wouldn't do none. You know what I'm saying? I want to be with the people that matches with you. And usually supposed to be men. Men are not supposed to be hound up with a bunch of women, even if it's like whatever, because it's like you already know what it is. It doesn't seem masculine. You know what I'm saying? You know.
It'll just feel goofy to me. Cause it's like, what am I here for? I'm not getting nothing out of it. So subconsciously, as a man, like, I know I want some. Even if people could come off like, oh, I don't want nothing out of this. It's just like, as a man, bro. Especially if she's attractive, it's like I would just feel goofy. Like I said, it's like either I'm gaining something out of it, either it's business, so I'm gaining something out of that. Like, oh, we're doing something for, like, business. But it's like, if it's just nothing, like, I'm just your friend. So it's like, what am I here for? To listen to you talk about other people, for you to flake and, like, do weird shit, text me at certain times and then go away. Like, it's just, what is the point? You're just a doormat at that point.
Me personally, I'm not a very like person who just do freaky stuff. But if I'm around a group of women, it's gonna be like three versus one. I'm not gonna be with them because there's no point. Because to be around a woman, you almost got to be woman like. You can't be a man because you're gonna scare her off with that shit. That's what I noticed. That like women, the type of guys that are around are like soft. I'm not being mean to the guys, but that's just what I noticed. Like it doesn't make sense to you being around like a bunch of women. I'm not shaming those guys, but you got to be like almost women like and like stoop down. Nothing wrong with that, but I'm just saying. So
Yeah, bro, they surround themselves with weak men, like yes men. And not even just like yes men, but like women as well. So I don't know what's the word for a yes woman, like women who just encourage everything they do. But that's why you see these women doing certain things and you're wondering why, like, how is she so comfortable doing this, knowing that it's wrong? Like, oh, she started her OnlyFans. It was probably one of them girls who would never they would never basically be open to doing that. But one day they end up doing it out of nowhere. And then this girl was sitting there like, well, the reason why I started it is because I'm tired of hearing what people got to say about it. Like, in her mind, she's basically saying, like, I'm doing it for me. And she's basically getting reinforcement from like the weak men around her and the women around her that encourage everything they do. Because of course these dudes are going to be yes men because of course they're going to tell these women everything they want to hear, like to get in with them. So of course the dude ain't gonna have no problem with it. He gonna be like, yeah, start on OnlyFans. This is why you hear these girls like, oh, I got a boyfriend who encouraged me to do it. You're sitting there like, what? How can a man encourage a woman to do OnlyFans? But it's because they're like yes men, like I said, bro. They just want to get in with them. So, and then they're thinking like, oh, people are just in my business. I'm living for me now, so I'm gonna start this. I'm gonna do this OnlyFans. But it's like that's basically like me running. That's basically like me playing in the street, like me playing in traffic, and a group of people's telling me, "Yo, Vision, that's why are you playing in traffic? That's you shouldn't be doing that." Like that's the logical truth. Like that I shouldn't be doing that. So it's like I can't come on here and be like, "Oh, I'm doing this for me. I'm playing in traffic because of me." I don't care what people think. It's like no, it's not just that people think a certain way. You're doing you. What you're doing is wrong. It's flat out simple. Like that's wrong. It doesn't mean that oh, it's just people trying to tell you it's wrong. That you should live for you. It's like no, you're doing something that's logically wrong.
Yeah, I saw like a short today. I'm gonna stop like scrolling the pressing this shit because if you press, it's gonna keep coming to you. But I'm just saying, I just like was like it was just the morning, and I saw how this girl like she was telling this guy you're cute, and then she was like patting on his head. You know what I'm saying? And then they said like they want to go to McDonald's and all that, and and she told me no, you could be my pet, even though it's just a skit or whatever for a video. That's kind of like disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be like that towards like a woman to like be cool with and all that. So I don't really see the point.
And like I said, you gotta be a yes man. You gotta encourage all that behavior that they do.
Exactly. It's not.
This is why everything is a free for all, bro. Because they got nothing but yes people around them. Whether it's the women that they're with or these weak men that they surround themselves with, they're just gonna encourage their behavior. Oh, do this. There's nothing wrong. Do this.
I don't mean to like expose people. I'm just pointing out the video. It says that black men are more lonely than ever. Anton says I prefer to hang out with guys. Like I played a little bit of it. American men. Because guys think I'm just talking out of my butt or but I just
that feel more lonely or more isolated because they don't have as many male friends.
Well, I'll see when he says it, when he refers it.
But for me personally, I'm not interested in sitting around a campfire with a bunch of guys and talking. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Honest to God, hope to own everything. I don't even want to look. I think that dudes is cool, but I think it's more cool when we have a bunch of women around us. Or I would prefer to have women around a campfire. If you asking me, Anton, hey, listen, would you rather have a bunch of guys around a campfire so y'all can bond, or y'all can go watch the game together, or you rather have a bunch of baddies around you, and we all on the couch having? It don't even have to be baddies. It could just be a bunch of women and we all just kicking it and having a good time and talking about relationships or whatever. I would prefer to have the women.
Seen any law firm ads all sound the same? When selecting a law firm,
I would prefer to have the women. Honest to God, that is everything. I don't have guys that just be coming through the studio. Mm-hmm. It's always gonna be a woman. It's always gonna be a woman. And And I don't know if it's something wrong with me, if my mind is wrong, but I don't have a friendship recession. I like being by myself. I like traveling alone. And don't get me wrong, I like traveling with other people and with women and stuff too. And if I got to travel, I'd rather have women around me, right? And I don't know what the fuck that is. I don't know if I'm just the Black Panther with the door of my head, whatever the fuck them girls is that was surrounding him, the women army. But I just rather have a bunch of women around me, bro. It's just more fun. It's better energy. They laugh. They touch your shoulder and all of that stuff. They give you inspiration. I can be alone, but that don't mean that I'm lonely. I can be alone, but that don't mean that I'm lonely. That's my thing. I don't want to learn no dancing routines with you, my nigga. I don't want to learn no stomp routines. I'm not interested in trying to understand your rituals. I don't want to understand the history of your organization. I want to plant my own flag, build my own movement, and I want to have a bunch of feminine energy around me. You know what I'm saying? Because that shit is inspiration. Ain't nothing like a sweet smelling woman. I love women that smell good. I love women when they put their lip gloss on and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't nothing like a sweet smelling, clean, breath, teeth, white woman around you. I got off the elevator the other day, and so did these people, this other company that's in my building.
Okay, yeah. That's about like I get it. He prefers to like be around more like feminine energy because guys they tend to like howl up and shoot each other. You know what I'm saying? You know. I get it. Like he prefers to like, be around a company of like women and feminine energy and all that stuff. It may feel inspiring, but because guys don't like howl up and compete with each other, but it's like okay, and you know what I'm saying. What's the like, you know?
I just say to each his own.
Mm-hmm.
I just like my peace. That's what I prefer. That's just how I maneuver my whole life. Like that's all I'm used to is this. Like, I can rock by myself.
Exactly. Like to each his own. You do what you like want to do. You know what I'm saying? But anybody like you get like but just me, I'll just like just do what I need to do. Just focus on that. Because people can tend to be a distraction, even when they're not like distracting you in a moment. Something will just always be in the way. That's why I wouldn't do none with both man or woman or anybody. I'm just saying like because I'm not just only gonna put it on a woman. So it's really like no point. It's just like it's better to like just stay in solitude because you get like 80% most things done than being around people. Especially like women, like women like they come with like stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know, I get it. He wants that female energy around, but it's like I wouldn't like at the stage of my life right now. It's just not recommendable. It's just gonna be a distraction. You know, he's a content creator, so it's like different. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? It's not like
Yeah,
for
I just say to each his own because I don't know how people work better. What brings them inspiration? Like maybe what brings you inspiration doesn't bring me inspiration. Like as for me, I don't need Like anybody around me to bring me that inspiration. Like, I just put in my work. I'm able to come up with my ideas alone. Like it's not like I have to depend on somebody's energy around me. Like that's just always how I move. Like I could just be alone, come up with my ideas by myself.
Exactly.
So I never really feel the need to like be around people because it's like I'm basically my own muse at this point. I can get my own ideas.
Yeah, me
I
like.
can feel inspired by just being me. Like I don't know what it is. That's just how I move.
Hmm. Hmm.
Most people probably don't even realize that that stuff can be within you,
Exactly.
but they don't give themselves time to tap in with themselves. Like so they have to find a crutch to lean on. Like, damn, I don't have any inspiration. Oh, I gotta go here. So you're not giving yourself that time or to hit them breakthroughs. Sometimes you gotta go through them breakthroughs so you can get to that point to where you get that new self discovery within yourself because you actually took so much time away from everybody. So it's basically forcing yourself to have to depend on yourself. And it's like everybody's so instant with it. Like, oh, I feel bored right now, so let me call somebody. Like you're not hitting any breakthroughs because the moment something happens, it's like you instantly get a shoulder to cry on. Or you're instantly trying to put yourself in a comfortable spot. Like you're not going through the uncomfortable situation. This is why they continue to run into them brick walls over and over.
Like, I get it. Some people need that extra pull. With people, with me, I've never needed that. People tend to be like a pull towards me. Like they pull from me, then they give towards me. Some people are able to like, you know, of course, like other people are able to be an inspiration towards them because they can actually connect with people. You know what I'm saying? And they have that social thing established. With me, I don't have that social and all that stuff established. I can talk and explain myself and all that, but I don't have that established with people, so I can't get inspiration from people. If it is, it's just false. You know what I'm saying? So I can't just get it like how he would. So I can't like say, I can't like debate him about it, like him wanting like more women or this around him because he's in a position that he can. He has some money. He's a content creator, so that's what he's doing. My thing is not focused on women at all. So there's no really no point towards that. You know what I'm saying? And with me,
Yeah, and some of these people need, like I said, they need that crutch because, like I said, as for me, I can speak for myself. I'm basically my own muse. So like the way I built it up for myself, like for some people, it's like they're not even on that level. So it's like when they have people around them, they can actually gain from it. Like they're gaining that energy. They're gaining like
like
things
with
from
me,
it, as opposed to us, bro. Since our energy is already heightened, we're already so tapped in with ourselves. It's like we can only go down.
hmm
Like we're basically other people's muse.
yeah,
And that's how I always felt being around people as well. Like you just feel drained from it. And not like I mentioned before, you know people are subconsciously gaining something out of it, even if you really can't pick up on it. Like, why does this person want to be around me? It's because like they're gaining something out of it. You're basically a muse for them.
I mean, with him, I can't. He could say that he wants more, but it's like, right? But with him, like he has money, and his content works towards women, so he could say that he connects with women more. But that's just what he does. Because if he was just a broke guy saying that, that wouldn't make no sense. So he has a position to. I'm not trying to like demean him or anything, but it's like he's in a position to. Because I'm able to like decode stuff and see what it is on why they do it. He's in a position to because he has money and that is his content is focused towards on. Plus, like with me, I had to connect with myself and all that because I don't think I had it a choice, especially like dealing with people in society and all that.
Yeah, same with me.
Yeah, that's just the case, you know. So I get it, you know.
Yeah, like I don't know if I was just born like this to be self-reliant. I don't know if this was just like a trait I was born with, or if it was because of the situation that like was forced in. Since I always been back on my own, like by myself. So I don't know if it was something that I adapted to, so now I'm able to just do it, or if this is just a trait that was already within me. And that's just how I function better. It's just rocking alone and not being too dependent on other people. Like it's rare for me to find people who I can gain from energetically. Because for the most part, interactions with most people, you just leave feeling drained. Well, I just leave feeling like I'm drained from it. It's a very few people that I can communicate with and I can gain something from it. With most other people, it's like an uneasy type of feeling that you get around them. But it's a very small select few people who I don't get those type of weird vibes from. I don't feel uneasy around these people, and I actually gain from it. Like I might gain ideas from it just out of a conversation. That's a very select few people.
Is that I don't know if I could do it with women like a bullet because with me like it's gonna be too much for them than I do for them because of course I could just get my energy out because the way I am, but I don't think they could do the same for me because it's like the way I am as a person. So I don't even want them. Even with men too, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be too much. It's gonna be kind of complicated. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to do that. You know, I feel like it'll be too much for them.
And some of this stuff might be dependent on like how long you've known certain people. like building a rapport with somebody. Because as for me, I haven't really met a lot of people. I haven't built rapport with certain people for that long. So it would be really nothing I could speak to about people. It would just like, I don't know.
Yeah, man.
Like I would rather be around people who know me for a while, so they basically know me as an individual already. With most people, it'll just be too surface level. Like I don't really know you, so what can I really like communicate with you about? You probably wouldn't understand me that much. But for some of these people, they have all these relationships and build up with people, so they all know each other. So it's easier for them to connect.
Yeah, even then, when you just being with one person at a time and say it goes a certain way, they able to go to like another person because that established friendship and they connect with more other people that they know with that friendship or whatever, with their social group or whatever. So it's easier for them, too. With me, I never like established that connection with people, even if I knew them for a while. Like we just could never connect on a deep level. It's about who you could connect with, really. You know what I'm saying? It would just go a certain way, or something will just occur, you know?
Yeah, it's all dependent on that how long you known people for real, for real. Because if I hardly know you, I'm not gonna be as comfortable to speak on certain things. I'm really not gonna know who you are as a person. So to say I really can't force it. And most of these people only kind of relate to you on like trauma bonding. That's what I notice about most people. Of course, you don't relate to these people in any way, but if you bring up like something you're going through, they'll relate to that. This is why certain people might only talk to you for a certain amount of time because they're probably dealing with something or are going through something. Like they're going through a rough patch in their life, so now you're the person that they talk to, to dump their issues on or to relate to that problem.
Yeah, exactly. I notice with most people, they come together, but they don't move together. You know what I'm saying? What that
Yeah,
means is,
it's like I said in a recent podcast, like how I said, it'll take for somebody to go through like something traumatic to be on their level, which basically explains it. Like most of these people wouldn't really fuck with you. It's just that they probably went through something traumatic, so now they can kind of relate to you. But it took for them to go through that moment. And even then, they still really don't relate to you. It's just on that problem. Like they only relate to you on a certain problem or that a certain rough patch that they're going through in their life.
they can go through a problem, but they don't learn. They got to go through these series of things over and over again with us. These things happen to us countless times, and we were forced to move in our own bubble. With them, it was just one period of time where these things were going on. It wasn't through phases and events. You know. So it's like this has been
Yeah,
going on
exactly.
our whole life. They're just going through a rough patch, basically.
Yeah, that's all it really is. Like, oh, I'm going through something. But if you think about it, if this person wasn't going through anything, what would I have to talk to them about? What would they talk to me about?
like with me, like the other person I was talking to, you know who, and then I just cut it off. I was like in a respectful way, because that person was telling me the things going on with her family. I mean, that person may not have it the worst in their own like home, but with other people, and that person telling me about it. Of course, I gave my responses, kept it kind of cordial, but I had to respectfully told that I don't care. They're gonna have to handle it on their own because I don't want to be that bandage and all that and talk about stuff, especially going on with your family and what they do. Like that's I don't care about it, and that's just too much to think about of like the factors and how it happened. I don't really care. I'm talking to you, not those people. Like I know when we talk to people, they bring around stuff going around them. You know what I'm saying? Or things going to them personally, but usually always things going around them. So you're just inheriting somebody's beef, basically, inheriting somebody's problems that they'll bring to you. You
Hmm.
don't even have to be in those things, but then they'll bring it towards you. Like, nah, like I'm talking to you. Like, you're right about people like talking to you on like a traumatic bond. You know what I'm saying? Even if
Yeah,
it's
that's
not.
what I notice about most women that like try to communicate with me. Like they would be going through something terrible. They would be letting me know like the traumatic things that they're going through, like opening up to me about what's going on. Like it was always something like that. Like, oh, they're going through this. Like it's always about an issue or a problem.
Yeah, even things if not, even if things are not going around them, it is always an issue. And I don't want to like talk about it. With me, I'm about overcoming and progression. You know what I'm saying? People are like are about expressing and regressing. Basically, that's what I said about it. Overcoming. I'm about overcoming and progression. People are about expressing and regression, like explaining themselves and expressing that, but just staying in the same state. I'm about like overcoming things and moving higher than that shit. You know what I'm saying? Becoming better. But people are about expressing and regression, basically.
Yeah, exactly. It can even be people around you. You'll just notice it. Even on surface level conversations, I always witnessed it. They'll just end up telling me about a problem or something, like venting to me. Oh, I'm going through this, man. Like,
Hmm.
but it's like as for me, I go through shit. But I never be the type to always like, oh, I gotta tell my problems to somebody, or I gotta dump my issues on this person. Like I just handle my shit and I just move forward.
Exactly. Like even when they don't even look like they're going through shit, you can just tell they're gonna tell you about some bull crap like you ain't going to be like hearing or something going around them. People they tend to be like sensitive things going around them, but it's like they don't even have to like talk about it, especially like do drama. People making rumors, people join in on that stuff, and then they'll tell that to you. Like you yourself don't even have to be a part of it, but you're telling me about this stuff. Like people are just so attracted to negativity, and I don't want to like talk about it, you know. And that's just what it is, you know.
It's always about something that you don't care about that they bring up.
You know.
This is why I just be silent, bro. I don't really have conversations with people like that. It's all just pointless. Like, why am I having pointless conversations, small talk?
Exactly.
Like, I don't like wasting time.
Hmm.
And that's how it feels when you're around people. It's like subconsciously you could pick up on like, this is draining my energy and wasting time. Like, you feel like you're just backtracking just to be in these like situations with people. I just feel like I'm backtracking.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Like I feel like I'm going backwards in time. They keep you in that one slate with them when they're talking to them. You know what I'm saying? And you feel the energy being directed towards you back and forth. You know what I'm saying? So they keep you on that like wheel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
it's like you
it's
gotta acclimate to them. Like I gotta lower myself and acclimate to this person.
oh come and see. Exactly. I don't want to do that. You notice how they talk about one thing for like for a long time or this, like that's how they do it with you. Like they will do that to keep you talking.
Yeah, I just don't be caring. Like I don't care about this subject, and I just don't feel like lowering myself, like dumbing myself down.
Like if you respond to them, they'll give you like a rebuttal towards that to explain it more, like why like it's not bad or why it shouldn't happened, and to just keep you talking about it. You know, and I don't want to like stay in that field like, but it's talking about like nothing. You know, especially if it has no
Exactly.
particular benefit with me. Like if I have to be around people, it has to be something tangible. Really, I don't got time for talk anymore. Like it's just too much. I realize that how much time can just go by fast without even like knowing. Just like when you be on YouTube, like or social media, you're like watching something, and it's like you're just in this loop. Now it's like the end of the day. Now you know what I'm saying.
hmm That's why I started cutting a lot of people off. Like the last few years, I just had to because I was already noticing like I'm wasting my energy, my time.
And they might not
Like I
seem like
just
a
had to do that. I had to make that move, bro. Like to end everything, like cut off group chats and all of that. Like I just couldn't deal with it. Yeah, it was like a sacrifice to let all that go, let everybody go. But I just had to let it all go.
oh yeah, especially in that group chat, like we you will be on and other people too. I'm not saying the other people like where talks are like very bad, but it's like you just notice something is not fitting the bill. You know what I'm saying? And me and you like we used to be on it. You know what I'm saying? I was on it like for a little bit, and then I was like, oh, this and like he's like probably like regrouping is like reclaiming his energy. You know what I'm saying? Because there was like one last person on it, and we would talk. You know what I'm saying? And then I was like, this is missing, but I was like, oh shoot, he's reclaiming my energy. I could have put it on me because it was like I was over talking and all that, like, and just doing that, and my life was kind of stagnant. I realized I had to reclaim my energy. It's until like the group like fell off until like I started like paying attention towards myself more, what I had to do. Because once you're not talking to nobody, you're doing this, like your reality is back on you now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, when I did that, I was basically giving people a favor by doing that. Like that's what I knew subconsciously. Like, well, I just knew it myself. Like, yeah, I know people might think of me a certain way for doing this, but I'm doing this because I know people need to be on their own, like their own energy. Like I know this is causing stagnation. Like multiple people overloading you with their problems. That's why I don't do group chats anymore. I don't do none of that type of stuff because it's just draining. It's just a lot of people just dumping all their issues and problems on each other. And even me, I'll feel guilty for doing that to other people. Like I don't want to sit here and dump my issues on people. This is why I don't really talk about the shit I'm going through with people because I just don't like that. I don't like people doing it to me, and I don't want to do that to nobody else.
Exactly. Like you want to like bring the issues and stuff. Yeah, like yeah too. And like in the group too, we was talking about like solutions and like doing what you got to do too. But then we was like chatting for the most part. You know what I'm saying? You know, we was like chatting for the most part. You know, and then he was like gone for like a week. I don't know. And then I was like, oh, he's playing his energy. I don't know. Because I was just talking, and I realized, oh shit, after the group is done, oh shit, we really gotta like be on our shit. Because I noticed during those times, especially in like 2022, like I was kind of not on my shit. Like I was doing it sometimes, but then I was like, you know, especially I was like carried away by the situation. Because before I was already like a couple months prior to that, I was already like focused on all that, but you know, had got off like the path and I just joined this group. You know what I'm saying? I noticed it kind of made it a little. I noticed it kind of like made it a little worse. You know what I'm saying? After that chat ended, it was just me and myself and whatever. So it was like, you know, it just told me that I really just got to be on my P's and Q's again. It's funny, like how people can just take your energy, take your attention away and talk, and you could just lose sight and focus. You know what I'm saying?
And like you said, all the time that's wasted.
Exactly. Like I expected with the group to like, I thought it was like gonna all come together and like all spiritually like you know succeed and just do great things, but it turned out for like I don't know a different result. You know what I'm saying? That's what I expected. You know what I'm saying at first sight, and it's to like to talk about like things going on and like you know just bouncing back and forth with each other with ideas. You know, it could probably be like an invention too, like. But it was like it played a different result with people. People are coming in with something else, you know, because they had these, you know, things they didn't like resolve beforehand.
Yeah, that's what most of this stuff is, bro. It's just people going through shit and just finding a place where they can like find like-minded people to talk about it.
I could tell with you, your goal was to like, you know, all make us better. You know what I'm saying? That was the whole point. That's why I joined. I was like, oh, we're talking to like-minded people. We're trying to succeed and bounce back because you know y'all would like talk about things with each other. Then it was just the conversation would go about problems in society. I'm like, we're past that. We're talking about us now, about succeeding, raising our vibration. You know what I'm saying? Not all this other sentimental shit. I'm like in my head while we're talking about all these problems and people and women, like that shit is none of our business. This is about us. Like that's why we came together to be like minded so we could connect with each other. Like what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? You know, we had to talk about like people and like freaking the society, like when the whole mission was something else, you know?
Hmm. You could just tell people ain't really in it like you are.
Yeah, I could tell like
You could
from it.
just pick up on it like I know this person ain't really pushing for nothing. But it's like a middle ground, dude, like that can keep you like attached to certain people. And some of these people might seem like cool.
Mm-hmm.
You really might have been cool with that person. So it's
Is
like you
that
gotta be strong enough to just disregard that. Like I know I was cool with you and all that, but I just have to part ways. Like you're not doing nothing.
yeah,
It's
it's
just
just
like it's only gonna like keep me in the same like if I'm connected with you, it's gonna keep me in that same loop with you. Like now
Mm-hmm.
my energy's gonna be stagnated.
Mm-hmm. Especially like
Like
talking
I'm
to
the
you.
only one pushing for something, and the people around me ain't doing nothing.
Exactly. Like especially like talking to you on there. We would talk about society and all that, but we always find a way around it, alternative. But I noticed with like people, everyone else, like in general, it was about problems or this, like, or nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I could just tell that everybody wasn't fighting the same fight as me, but they wasn't as hungry. But you know, there wasn't like an asshole, so I was just keeping it cool with them. But then time proves that again that it's really just a waste of time. Because when I came out, like the mission was to succeed, like to become better. That's what I got from the from joining before, to connect with like-minded people and become better, you know. But I realized that people are just not like that. That's why you got to be careful, like starting shit, because not everybody's like up to par. They can think of an idea they want to do this shit, but it's like they bring in something else, like you know.
And it just don't feel right. Like I'll just know it. Like I'm sitting here doing all of this, and you're doing nothing at all.
Exactly.
So it's kind of making me feel some type of way. Like, and that's what you notice with most people. Like they're not pushing for nothing. They're not pushing for nothing greater. They're not really in it like you are.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm in this shit every day. Like I'm fighting every day. I'm doing this every day. And
Mm-hmm.
I really don't see that reciprocated. Like I don't see people doing that. I might see
Mm-hmm.
them do something once in a blue moon, but they'll be the same people that acting like they're on your level, or they're moving like you, or they're trying to reach where you're trying to reach. But it's like you're not. I can see clear as day you're not doing anything.
Mm-hmm. Like I'm gonna speak for me. Like I'm gonna take accountability. Like with me, I was kind of lazy and not doing shit because I was just talking with them. Plus, I was working at the time. I know you was doing shit because you would like tell me, and you get synchronicities. Like you would show me that shit. At the time, I was barely getting synchronicities because you know I had stopped being on my path because you know I got carried away. You know, I'm saying I had stopped doing what I need to do. You know, I'm saying of course, like with me, I can recalibrate faster, but you know, I was just chatting with people, and I realized how much of a detriment it is. You know, like there will be times I will be on my shit and do that, but it's like something would just, I feel like something's biting me in the end. I didn't feel like doing it, especially with working. I had a job that time, so it's like I couldn't fucking go all the way in. So that's when I realized that I had to go all the way in with this shit. You know what I'm saying? You know?
Yeah, that's why I resonate with you because I can tell that you're going in with this. Like for most people, it's all talk, or they only do it when you do it. Basically, like they'll do something, but only when it's you with them doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But you know they're not going to really do it. Like you really have to show me that you're doing something. And once I see it, it's like I know it. Like I know for sure, like this person is doing something. Like not saying that I'm trying to like hold people up to a pedestal. Like, oh, you gotta be on this level, or I can, like you, I'm better than you, or something. It's none of that. It's just the fact that you're pushing for something. Like you don't have to actually have something tangible, because I know how it is. But at least you gotta be doing something, like pushing for it.
Exactly.
That's
Like,
all I say. Like you don't have to have nothing. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to have this. But I at least gotta see that you're trying.
exactly. Like, they were fighting together in the same fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, we would talk about like society and everything, but I would bring up like progressing and moving forward. I'll bring it up with most Steve because I know if I brought it up with everyone else, like it just wouldn't. The responses would be kind of different. So you know, so I just didn't do it. You know, even though the whole motivation was to become better and connect with like-minded people, but it's like I don't know, like how it could stray away from that shit.
And it's like I realized my energy and the effect of my energy with people. This ain't me just coming up with conclusion. It's what people told to me personally. Like what people told to me personally, like, oh, like I can pick up on your energy. Like your energy is like people were just telling me how my energy was affecting them. Like Like just by me having this conversation with you, bro, like I feel better. Like that's the type of shit niggas would tell me, like, oh, just by
Oh
being
hell nah.
on your like stuff, it's like I feel good. So once I
That's
start hearing that, I start realizing like I'm not egotistical, but it's like I realize the effect of my energy. Like, and I'm not even saying that's always a bad thing, like to make somebody feel good, like just by your presence. But it's like you just feel like you like a crutch to people. Like, damn, I'm really lifting people up.
yeah, I could tell like you was an anchor, you know. That's not good, like
And
especially
then
as a
sometimes
man.
I just felt like niggas would like take advantage of that, like basically using you for your energy. Cause I realized I was doing shit that most people would never would have did for certain people. Like a lot of niggas wouldn't do this, but I was doing that shit.
Exactly. Like a lot of niggas won't let you open up and talk about shit. They'll judge you and make you look a certain way. Like I noticed that with you. Like you was very open and nice. So I don't want nobody to like make any rumors about you. You don't even have to like prove it because they already know what it is. Like I feel like he was open. That's why I felt comfortable in everybody else because I couldn't join no other group or Discord. You know what I'm saying? Because when I tried, I wouldn't fit in, or I just couldn't say what I had to say. I felt limited. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I'm scared, but you know, you got to go to a space where you feel free. But that there can be a downside to that. You know, if they don't have the same motivation as you.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like you might everybody in this place might be relating to one thing, but that's like a trauma bond or relate on the struggle. So it keeps you stagnated. Like who's actually trying to fight out of it?
Mm-hmm.
Most people already gave up. So it's like I can't really rock with you like that.
Exactly. Like I ain't gonna judge people, but I realize that people were already beaten down, and it's just the
Yeah, I can't
beginning.
judge you for not. I can't judge you for like not wanting to do it, but it's like at the same time I can't really be around you. I'm not gonna
Mm-hmm.
judge you for it, but it's like I can't have that energy around you, like that defeated energy.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I'm just pushing for too much. Like I want too much out of this, and I'm gonna show and prove. Like I'm not just gonna talk about it. You're gonna see me every day.
You know.
Like I'm not one of them niggas who I just say, "Oh, I'm gonna do this," and you never see my face. Or like if I'm doing some shit and I tell you you know for sure I'm gonna do it, or you know you're gonna see me. Like with other people, it's just too fickle. Like oh, they say they're gonna do this, but it's like you know you're not gonna see them do it. You know you're not gonna see them.
And then the same conversation the next day they'll say, "Oh, I'm gonna do it. I'm working towards it," but you don't really see nothing towards that shit. You know.
Or it's like they don't reciprocate the energy. Like oh, you do this favor for them, you do this favor. Once you need something, it's like you gotta damn near just like beg for them to do it. And even then, it's like they're hard to reach at that point.
I notice when you do that, they kind of like stay away from you for a bit. They kind of back off when you need something. It like goes blank, but then they'll call to talk to you whenever they want to or whatever. Like I noticed that like when you need something, they kind of back off on you a bit, or they'll say like the way they'll talk will like it'll be like little words. Like they don't really have nothing to say to you, really. You know.
Yeah, and I noticed for me, I was more focused on the business aspect. I'm gonna just be
Mm-hmm.
100% honest. Like that's what I was focused on with people. So certain people would get caught up in their feelings because like I wasn't checking, like I wasn't like I said, like trauma bonding, like or like talking about issues with them. Like what are you going through? I was just focused on like let's get this business done. So that was like the disconnect. I'm more so focused on business, and everybody else is focused on like the issues and the problems. Like, but why didn't you check on me?
Oh
You're
yeah,
only worrying about business. It's like, yeah, nigga, what do you expect? Like, I'm not here to coddle you or ask about your problems. Like, no, I'm gonna talk about business. Like, let's do this. All right, let's go. But it's like niggas wasn't having that. Like, they like, well, this nigga's only focused on business. It's like, well, that's the disconnect.
exactly. I focus on like the overall, you know what I'm saying? But it's like as a man, it kind of makes you look bad. But there's a lot of guys are in that field, so it's like it's really nothing to them. It's like they want to like bite off of you. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of weird, like a piggyback ride. Like as a man, you should never get a piggyback ride. You can get like extra and additives with people, but a piggyback ride from another man, that doesn't look right. Because as a man, you already got to push yourself and all that shit to like do shit. You know what I'm saying? Pause. My bad. Like as a woman, they already get that like
No, I
motivation,
was laughing when
positive.
you said the piggyback, right?
But women, they already get that positive affirmation with people, so they're able to like go with ease. But as a man, relying on another man to do it, that's gonna take a lot of energy. I noticed that when you do that with dudes, they just keep draining your energy. They don't like do shit with it. That's what I realized. If you give one woman money, she's gonna use it for something. But with dudes, they keep on taking your energy, bro. They keep talking about it. Like they're like parasites. That's what I noticed that when you give something to dudes, they keep going back. They keep going forward. But when you give like something to a woman, they'll use it. You know what I'm saying? Say you do it with a woman, she gonna do what another dude or whatever. Say you give money to a woman, she gonna spend it. With dudes, they just keep going back and forth. Like if you give something to them, they want more and more. It's like they're a parasite, you know?
Yeah, this ain't even. This don't even just like this happens in the real world
Mm-hmm.
with people. Like, it's like mixing up business with friendship, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Some people is more so focused on the friendship, but some people is more so focused on the business. Like, so once they see somebody who only focused on the business more so, they're more so focused on the business. Like, they're going to take offense to that.
Mm-hmm.
Because at that point, they feel like you're using them. But at the same time, it's like they're using you.
Mm-hmm.
They think you're using them for just business because it's like, oh, you only hit me up when it's about business. But it's like, but you only hit me up about your problems. This is why it's like a disconnect. Like, I just got to cut it off.
Exactly. Like I'm not even trying to like say anything about dudes, but I notice it with them. They just keep coming back and forth to you. It's like you fill up a patch for them. For women, they'll do that. Say you're talking to a woman and she feels sad. She's only going to use it for that momentarily. You know what I'm saying? She's going to go off to the next guy. Or if you give her money,
Hmm.
she may say thank you or whatever, but then she'll just run off with that shit and spend that shit. But with guys, they just keep coming back. You know
It's
what I'm
like an
saying?
attachment.
You
Because
know?
with women, they have more options. So it's like, they're not just going to be on to you. They're on to the next. But
Mm-hmm.
most of these dudes are lonely. Like, they're looking for somebody for like a muse, like somebody to be cool with. Like, and once they find that person, it's like you said, they're just going to keep coming back.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Like, and that's gonna take a lot of energy to like extrapolate from you because it's one person, and it's most of that same people in that arena. So that's a whole lot, you know.
And like I said, you might have built that rapport with certain people. So now it's like a crossroad. It's like you're at a crossroads. Because it's like now I gotta cut this person off. Yeah, we related on this, but you understand that they're draining you. So it's like I really have to cut you off. So now you might come off as if you're fake. How
Mm-hmm.
can you be so cool with somebody but cut them off? But that's not the point. That's not the case. It ain't the fact that, oh, I'm so cool with this person to just cut them off in a heartbeat. But it's like I just have to, because there is no middle ground. Like, That's just keeping me in a loop about keeping you around. So I have to cut it off 100%. That's why I made that move early on.
Exactly,
A lot
man.
of people might not even have known about it or took it the wrong way. Even you probably took it the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
But now you probably understand why. 'Cause it's like I can't have a middle ground. Like I just gotta cut it off. Like, and I've been that was a while. That was like a couple years ago. And like that's how I started moving. Like I gotta do certain things that even though certain people might think I'm weird about it, or it's like I just gotta cut it off 100% because I know that's the only option.
Exactly. Like, essentially, we're like, when it all went around, I was like, I kind of expected it because people were leaving or this or just keep happening. The energy wasn't right. I felt that, and I was like already mad because I already had quitting my job and shit and people. So I kind of expected it because I felt the energy wasn't like right. You know what I'm saying? But it was that in denial because like you wasted your time talking and this and it's a confusion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, certain people just I didn't relate to them. I guess it started to become more clear like who certain people were.
You know?
Like I said, it's like a moment in time. Like you probably resonated with them because y'all met when y'all both were going through a rough patch. But once all that debris starts to go away, it's like you start to see clear. Like damn, I really don't relate to this person.
Or that they just wanted to talk to you all along. They're a cat. They just wanted to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? Or you realize they don't have it as bad. You can just tell by the tonality, voice, expression. They just wanted to chit chat, not trying to like be mean, or denounce people. That's what you realize that they just wanted to talk. Because if it was really that serious, they would do something. They'll work from they'll like find something from the littlest thing and make something out of it. Like so, you know.
Now you realize certain people have one foot in and one foot out. And I'm just like, bro, like I said, you just know they're not fighting how you are.
Like I don't know why people consider you mean when you like cut them off. Like not cut them off. Like just bring your and even when you don't cut them off, you bring your energy back, reclaim it. It's a problem. You know, I don't understand that. You know, when you take your power back, it's an issue. Like I don't see it. I don't see like why they think it's like a problem. Like
That's what I'm saying. And people would disregard everything you did for them. The moment you reclaim all your energy back, it's like now everybody's talking about you. Like, oh, this nigga's weird. Oh, he's fake. They don't take into account all the shit you was doing.
mm-hmm. Exactly. I realize that most people are just um parasites, man. They just want to feed off of you. They just want to chit chat to feed off of you. That's all it is. This matrix is to like energy harvest, especially through it uses it through people. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not letting that shit happen. You know?
This is why being a cool person is just a detriment. That's the type of person I am. I'm just understanding with people. I'm not overly judgmental about people. So a lot of people will get attached to my energy because it's like It's not too many people out there like that. This is why I had to like reclaim my energy back. Like, even though I'm a cool person, I can't show that side to people because they just take advantage of it. This is why when certain people hit me up now, it's like I don't really open that door for communication because I know how it goes. Like, I'm not as easygoing with people like I used to. I'm not as open and accepting to hear people's problems and all of that, like how I used to be. So I come off as if like I'm mean or like that's how I come off to people now. But you probably seen me, Kenny, because you was rocking with me for a while. Like you seen how I changed.
Mm-hmm.
Like at first I was that person, like, oh, I'm
I
open to everybody.
I really noticed this. Like, it's a vast difference. Like that openness, that stuff is a feminine trait. That's what women do. Like women, they could do that shit because people are gonna be grateful. They would say, "I love you. You're the best woman on earth for doing this for me." I said, "Man, you can't really be open like that and be moving like that. You kind of have to be like self-centered. You may seem like a narcissist, but it's like as a man, you can't just be giving your energy to people like that or your time. It just turns out a different way. That's what I had to realize. You know what I'm saying? Women could do that, like put other people before them. You know what I'm saying? But man, you can't do that shit because people will be unappreciative. They'll want more. It just has more of an effect on you than them and shit. You know, as a man, like the word keep asking, why don't men do this or black men do that? Is like our mental health comes first. You know, they ask us why we're not involved in the community. We're not participating in like programs or events for the youth and all that shit. At the end of the day, our mental health matters more. And you know, in doing all that shit for people, we become a target. You would think it helps people, but it goes left field. You know what I'm saying? That's what I had to realize that shit. You know, you
And
can't
it
be
makes people not face their issues and problems, like because they have somebody to like dump their problems on.
exactly like with women.
But
They
I
go
don't
to
have to dump my problems on people because it's like I'd rather just face it and deal with it. So like I said, people would get mad at you like, oh, you're not hitting me up to like check on this or talk about my issues when I'm going through. But it's
exactly,
like you gotta face that yourself.
exactly like with women. Like they go to church, they donate their offering, but they don't see that as a problem because they get something out of it. You know what I'm saying? But like, man, you can't just do that shit. Give your money away to people. You're not gonna get shit. You're gonna be alone. Give it away. You're just gonna go home by yourself. You know, you can't just do all that other fucking extra shit. You know.
Because at that point, you're like somebody's personal therapist.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta constantly be there, constantly hear their issues. And then once you don't want to hear their issues, down everything's different.
Mm-hmm. Like I always felt like I always had to go out my own way for people, even if it was the one to initiate first. I feel like in the back end, I had to like go more to prove myself, and I don't want to do that shit. I always felt like I had to give my energy more in general. That's why I used to stop doing that shit. You got me fucked up because it's not cool. Like I need to stop. I gotta stop like being so nice and cool because I always felt like that. That's why I cut the other interaction off with that other person because I felt like I was giving more. Even when that person initiated, like came on my channel or people, they just want you to like just bring their attention towards them, and I'm not doing that goofy shit. Like that's very childish, you know. You know, and I just can't rock like that no more because they would like play with you, you know. So respect to the person. I wish the best for them and people and just in general. But it's like that's not happening. You know, you can think whatever you think you want to be because I can't change your mind. You know what I'm saying? So
And that's like you gotta become stern on cutting people off. Because that's how certain people get hooked. It's like you built these connections for so long. with people, so you don't really want to cut them off, and people just be hanging on to them people because they don't want to come off as if, oh, they're fake, they switched up. And, like, you just gotta, like I said, you gotta do what you gotta do. And that's the realization I had to come to, like, back then. Like, I know I'm even cool with certain people, but it might come off as if I lied about me being me, like saying I'll never change on people or switch up, but it's like I can't hang on to people because of that. Just for the simple fact that I want to feel like I'm living up to that standard. Like, well, I gotta be quote unquote real, so I gotta keep these certain people around. Like if it's not resonating, if it's like you gotta cut it off. There ain't no 1 foot in and 1 foot out. And even if you're so cool with that person, you gotta be strong enough to just be like cut it off. And most people keep these same people around. You see
Exactly.
some people with the same friends. Like, of course, I know certain people might have just been like, I don't even know. Like, they might have just always been cool with each other for so long, but it just shows me that either somebody ain't growing or somebody isn't strong enough to cut somebody off. So they're just keeping them hanging around. Or you're just hanging around them because all of them years added up. Like, since I known this person for so long, I have to keep them around. Just because of the simple fact we known each other for so long. But you don't know that that person might be stunting your growth and stunting your, like, stagnating shit for you. Like, slowing shit down for you. So you gotta choose at that point. At that point, you gotta choose either not progression or hanging on to this quote unquote friendship or quote unquote relationship, whatever it is. It's like, which one do you value more? I just value my progression. Like, I just move on.
Exactly. It's either my progression or our regression. You know what I'm saying? So I just like certain people like they would like consider cutting people off, but they still have that open space filled up. Even if they try to close it off, you know what I'm saying? And go like, this person's coming back again, they're saying this again. You know, you gotta cut it off immediately. It's only gonna like it's gonna be like quicksand. It's only gonna like suck you deeper and deeper into the holes with people. Like pause, you know.
It's basically like nostalgia. It's almost the same thing as people hanging on to nostalgia
Mm-hmm.
because you're so familiar with it. It brings you to a certain place. It's like nostalgia. Like, this person is basically like nostalgia. So yeah, you want to remember the times about this person, or you want to hang on to certain memories about this person, so it keeps you around.
Facts, YG. Even though they might not F with us, you as a person, your energy is replenishing to them. So they keep coming back. It's like a fiend addicted to drug. Like, I ain't doing that no more. Like, that's just nah, bro. When I realize they're benefiting from it and that, I'm like, nah, bro. I just look at you just can't do that like no more. Once you realize that people are like extracting something out of you,
And
like
they're
you
gaining
just
more from you with doing less.
exactly
And
and
you,
that
like I said, you just feel like you're propping everybody up, like you're pushing more than everybody. So you're bringing people up. They're putting in least effort and are gaining from it. So you just feel like you're getting finesse.
mm-hmm. Yeah, and in that moment you feel stupid. Like, why am I doing all this stuff? And you feel guilty for yourself. Like you would like make yourself feel bad about doing that. Like, it's just nah, man. I just can't do that. Like I ain't about to go chase you back around. Like we gotta end this or not. Like I'm about to go chasing you around like a
And then they want to
jackrabbit.
like feel entitled or benefit. They want to benefit or feel entitled for certain shit, but it's like you're putting in least effort. And it's like you still want to feel entitled to shit. Like, now you really think that you're just gonna gain everything by doing the least, by putting in the
Mm-hmm.
least effort, and now you feel obligated.
Mm-hmm. Facts, YG. Most relationships nowadays aren't genuine. They are transactional. Exactly. They lack reciprocity, man. It's always one sided, you know?
That's why when you hit me up for this stream, bro, I told you I'm like I gotta do it to return that favor, cause you've been putting so much work in on my channel, like doing streams. So I'm like I can't just leave niggas out to dry like that. Like, oh now when I gotta do something for him, oh I gotta, oh now I'm busy.
Yeah, sometimes you tell me you're busy, and I respect that. It's cordial, but people don't understand boundary lines. They cross over immediately. Like, they don't understand that, you know? But you be respectful about it. Most people don't say that to get you away from them, you know? Like, I realized that, especially on going this year, like, how evil people could really be. You know what I'm saying? That's what I realized, how evil people are. Like, you know? Like, I didn't even, like,
Mm-hmm.
realize, you know?
They just
I
don't
was,
reciprocate the energy, bro.
I realized that people could put many faces on. Like, it's just not with people. Like, I just had to realize that. I understand it kind of back then, but I was like, let me get in the benefit of the doubt. Maybe I'm tripping, but I realized that people really like shoot yourself in the foot. Like they'll really like, man, they'll really burn you. You know, it takes you just going through it again, the motions with people to like understand it. You know,
You just start to realize how fickle people are. Like they're not gonna keep their word. They tell you this, they're not really gonna do it. And that's what you start to notice about most people, like I said before. It's like they're not consistent with their words or consistent with their actions. Like they'll tell you, "Oh, I'm trying to do this. I'm about to start this," and you just know it. Like this person is not gonna do this. It gets hard to find people who's really gonna keep their word. Like they say they're gonna do this, they do it. They say they're doing this, you see them doing it. They don't just try to like. They don't just put on a front about it.
exactly. Like I remember I met these people. It was like 2 years ago. I was saying, and they just met me. They're feeling my energy or whatever. Like, cause I had done some energy cleansing that it was for a little bit, and they gave me the number. They said they'll hook me up with this and that, and it was just talking. And they brought some of their problems up. And as soon as I wanted to like get hooked up with something like a job or this opportunity they had, there was no answers. But when I look back before, it's like you know they weren't really like fucking with me like that. You know what I'm saying? They stopped talking to me, and then I just had to call them for something, and it's like no answer. So people like they'll take advantage of your energy and all that or whatever. and all that. That's why it's like it's good to like kind of close yourself off of it. And I'll be closed off, but I'm just saying like don't be too inviting, you know.
You can't be too reliant on people. This is why I moved the way I moved, because I realized what it's like before to have to rely on people. So now you gotta wait on them. So that's another reason why I had to cut everything off. Like I'm not going to continue to wait on niggas. Like I'm trying to handle this now. But other niggas are just like taking their good old time. They're flaky. They're flaking in and out. It's like I can't be relying on people. I gotta rely on myself. Cause I know I'm gonna show up every day. I can't live my life only depending on if somebody else is gonna do something. Like so now that's gonna slow me down. Cause now I'm relying on if this person is gonna show up. So now if they don't show up, now I can't move.
So like with people, like they're gonna be
This is why you
flaky.
said like when you first started the stream, like how the dude said like he relies on women. He relies on women. He relies on feminine energy to keep him going or to keep him motivated. It's like I can't rely on that shit because what happens when I don't have it?
Mm-hmm.
What happens when there's nobody around? What happens when somebody tells you they're going to do something and they flake out of it? Now you got to stop your whole machine for somebody else.
Yeah, a lot of guys hit that point of their lives below zero, and they snap, and they do something like, you know, regrettable. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's dangerous doing that shit. You know, because when they turn their back on you or something happens, they're gonna like snap. So that's you gotta be careful. You know.
This is why
Same.
it's good to be self-reliant because everything could literally crash down if you're too dependent on people. Because
Like
what
to
happens, like I said, when they don't show up? What happens when they don't? What happens when they don't show up for business?
mm-hmm. Like
Now
to
you
like
can't do shit.
mm-hmm.
You're like, where's this person at? We got to handle this. Now they're not here. Now what? Now you're looking stupid. And now it's
like
going to be hard for you to pivot because once that person's gone, it's like, how do you pivot now? Now you got to find other people. This is why I just like relying on myself.
you know what I'm saying? Like you just gotta be relying on yourself because people like take advantage of that. Like you know, like I'm not just gonna keep that open field with you and mean that you're just gonna flake and all that shit. And I'm barely like getting anything out of it. So you got me like fucked up with that shit. That's kids we're in tune spiritually. Exactly. Everybody's so spiritually, like everybody's so like egotistical and all that fucking shit. I was about to say. Oh yeah, like the same people, they'll try to like come back around. You know, it's just especially with guys like say they're like focused on themselves or whatever, and the same woman or people that didn't like them try to come back. They think that the person admires them because what they're doing, and they want them, they're desirable to an extent, yeah. But what these people are trying to do, they're trying to get you to that field of energy again. They're trying to get you to that chaser effect, basically. You know what I'm saying? That's what they're trying to get you to that field. You know, they're not trying to like do that at a surface level, they may like be like, oh my goodness, he's doing something with his life. I like what he's doing. But when you talk to these people again, it's gonna go left. They're gonna do the same shit. They're trying to keep it to that same field again. Because it's opposite. You're not moving like how 99% of people are like moving. So it's like the energy is gonna be blatant. So they're trying to keep you in that level again, like subpar. Because when you're in that support level, that just guarantees you that you won't even do shit anymore. They're trying to keep you at that level. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's so calculated and cunning and the way it is. You know what I'm saying?
And it's probably like subconscious too. Like of course some of these women want to be around successful men, but it might be an underlying reason why, because it's like they know they're subconsciously gonna benefit. Like you're around somebody who's moving up, so of course you're gonna gain from it. So this is probably why they want to like do that too.
Mm-hmm.
They see you moving a certain way. It's like they can drain you, and now shit can be going good for them now.
Mm-hmm.
And they just need that attachment to somebody who's moving a certain way.
Like with me, like maybe like especially I'm on this path, maybe I would check the right people. You know, attract the right people with the right vibration, attract that soulmate, that high vibrational partner, that goddess. But I had to come to the realization that shit don't like it's probably not gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been doing this shit. I've been fixing my energy. Like, so that shit is not gonna happen. I consider religions that there's a 99% guarantee that I may be alone. You know what I'm saying? And that's okay and that's fine. Because people expect like a certain result, and I don't like, especially with people. You know, said I don't really care. Like, because I'm seeing all these people on YouTube. They saying that they're like high vibrational and they manifested a partner or this thing, but that shit never happened to me. So it just shows you how different I am, or whatever. You know, I'm not saying I'm special, but it just shows me like what type of like mind I have in this fucking game and what this world restricts me of and shit. So I can only just like stay in my own space until I check out of here and shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm on. I'm just like I said, I'm just rocking by myself, and I've already accepted my reality. So like I'm just content with it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Like,
certain women popped up before, but they disappeared like they always do. Like
because they say that if you like raise her this, you attract the right tribe and the people for you. I'm seeing these people. They say that they have manifested this person or these things happen for them and they're happy, but it's like happily married. But that shit never happened to me. So I don't really believe in that shit all the way. I mean, I believe in like energy and all that shit, but that shit never happened to me. So it just shows you how backwards this shit is. You know what I'm saying? And it shows me how like alone that I am because it doesn't make no fucking sense. I'm not mad about it anymore. I had made peace with that, you know.
yeah, and that's for me. I just feel like I intimidate certain people just by the way I carry myself.
It's that like you say
It's
there's
like
like five.
people are used to weak people, like somebody who's slouching, low energy, dependent on people. It's like the way I carry myself is just me. Like I'm content. My energy's built up. It's like I'm already up to par just by myself. So that can come off as intimidating. Like
Exactly. Like There could be like
It's like
10.
you don't even leave room for like certain women or people to come in your life because it's like you're already up to this standard. Not saying that you're rich or none of that, but it's like just mentally and just the
Is
way
that
you carry yourself, your demeanor and all of that. It's like you're already complete, so it leaves no open space.
hmm exactly facts? Why your women come around, but the relationship is always short lived. Like if women try to come back around, I'm gonna just cut it off from there. Because you definitely can't just let women come in there like fuck no. Like they can just never. I don't hate women. They look nice or whatever, but they're gonna be like you gotta basically like vet them. Like you cannot you gotta cross the like you basically cannot let them come back because man, this is gonna go left field. I mean, I don't really care about doing that or vetting them. I'm just gonna stick to myself and all that because I already know what's gonna be. You know what I'm saying? They could come up with a like front and all that. I already know. I don't really like try to put too much thought about it because I already know the same shit's gonna happen. And or Kenny, maybe it's the love of your life. You never know. It's okay, whatever. I just look at probabilities and shit and the likelihood of things. So if it's meant for me, my nigga, it will be meant for me. I'm not gonna like have to like burst my bubbles and shit. You know.
Yeah, that's how I look at it. Like, if it's meant for me, it's meant for me, and it would feel like it's basically effortless. Like it would match up perfectly, not all the way perfectly, but it would just match up.
Exactly. Like I see like guys like that don't approach women or talk to people because that shit's not normal to do. Everything's supposed to happen organic and it's on its own. Like that's why guys get mad at like these women's standard because that shit's not normal. Like to do all this extra shit. Everything should happen organic in time. You know what I'm saying? Like our parents didn't do have to do all that extra bullshit. They just came together. So because that shit's not normal. You know what I'm saying? I see why a lot of guys opt out of the game because this shit is not normal, like at all. You said the right girl come searching for her, like that's just this stuff is not normal at all to go out of your own way. We've been programmed to think to you have to do that. Everything's within, even with like law of attraction and all that stuff. That shit's supposed to happen simultaneously. It's not supposed to take decades because everything's in constant and flow. You know what I'm saying? It's just that there's a lot of stuff and energies in a way that blocks that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying the universe and all that other stuff is powerful. It is, but there's a lot of synthetic bullshit in the fucking way. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's like you're basically causing more resistance by trying so hard. Like, well, I gotta do this and this in order to do this. And you see certain people get it effortless.
Exactly. That's why I had like me as a person, I had to just stand back and just protect my energy and build around that because that's the only thing that could really make a difference. Not me doing all this extra shit because this physical world is only limited. You can only do so much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and like I said, if you're constantly going out of your way and forcing it, you're not opening yourself up to receive. Like you're not opening yourself up to allow yourself to receive. If you're just constantly adding resistance.
Exactly. Like the universe is like or whatever is out there is powerful. You know what I'm saying? It only matches that energy in what you do. So if you keep doing that shit, it's just going to only feed that energy back. So you got to like be careful. You got to allow it to receive. You know what I'm saying? You could do other things as long as it doesn't like fuck with your energy type shit. You know what I'm saying? Because everything's simultaneously connected, but And you don't want to like make sure you're doing something wrong because it's gonna come up to you like, why the fuck ain't nothing happening? And then you're gonna realize like you're just doing extra bullshit. You're filling up the bag that doesn't have to be filled up already. You know what I'm saying?
So you gotta balance it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't overexert yourself on a particular side.
Mm-hmm.
Because then it's gonna cause resistance, and everything's gonna seem more repetitive because you're only focused on one side.
Exactly. Like we used to think that we got to do everything every day, but I would say put everything you have to put out there at that short period of time and just let it flow. Because you don't want to work every day, 365 days of the year, and that shit don't come. This is gonna make you feel. It's gonna make you feel frustrated. So put that what you need to be put out there. That's most important, and then just let it flow. You know what I'm saying? Especially with like YouTuber, like starting a business and posting content. Like like with me, like I have like a lot of uploads and shit. You know what I'm saying? I know with you, Vince, you probably have a little more because you started like earlier and shit. But you know, because if you keep posting and doing all that shit, especially with these algorithms and shit, it will bury that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's what I
Mm-hmm.
noticed when you post more. Like it will bury it in the algorithm and shit. You know. So I understand if I move that flow and what I have to do, everything would just happen on its own because everything is connected and it's all signal. It's all signal based. You know what I'm saying? If I'm moving that flow with the source and all that, whatever I do will be affected with it because you know the signals. It's high in radiation, so and that'll be picked up. Like it has no choice to do that. You know, if I'm moving that flow or whatever, and I'm just letting things just come, it has no choice but to happen. Like it doesn't scientifically it makes no sense. I can't question it no more. You know what I'm saying? It just has to be, you know? We have
You
to
gotta
like,
basically open yourself up to like a new possibility. Because like I said, if you're continuing doing the same pattern, it's just like it's gonna cause that stagnation, and you're not opening yourself up to a new possibility. Like you're not doing anything different.
exactly like, I
So
would
you're
say,
gonna keep receiving the same back, like because you're doing the same repetitive cycle. But you
mm-hmm,
step back and you do something different, where it's like it unlocks something new.
mm-hmm,
Like for example, somebody posts a video at 2 o'clock every day. So you're in that repetitive cycle of posting at 2 o'clock every day. But it's like one day you might have just posted at like 3 in the morning, and you probably didn't think nothing about it. Like, let me just post it. It's like that opens up a new possibility. You might even feel differently. It's like everything will feel different.
if you do all that,
Like sometimes you gotta go off the script. Like sometimes you gotta move off the schedule. Like you can't be too calculated with everything.
yeah, like I saw that with me that it kind of backfired, especially when I look at all my content. Because none of it is like trash or crappy as quality, but I saw how overdoing that shit, it kind of backfired. So I had to like step back. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I'm doing little like things to like push it out, but that's the farthest thing that I'm gonna do. And that's it. Because I saw how overposting and all that shit backfired. Because when you do that, it will cause it to plateau. Of course, I'm gonna do the little extra thing that like pushes it out, but that's far as going. I'm not gonna go over the limit no more because that shit will like backfire. and being too calculated and planning. And I just want to be present because I noticed in the present moment, things always shifted. It was the moments where things were like always like shift and shit. Even me feeling better, you know what I'm saying? And I work better with that shit. You know, I get new ideas or whatever. So
Yeah, I said that in one of my law of attraction videos. Like the analogy that I gave in a video, you probably remember this video, but I said like it's basically like watching a clock. Like if you sit there and watch the clock, it's going to take longer. Like as a kid, when you was in school watching the clock, the time ran slow. But when you was doing something fun and not watching the time went so fast. So it's like if you continue to exert your energy on one thing or forcing it, it's going to take longer instead of just letting it flow. This is why, like I said in the video, when you receive certain things, it happens in a moment. Like if somebody just comes out of nowhere and gives you something, like they either give you some money, they give you food, or just something. It always happens in a moment. It's never you calculating like, oh, it's going to happen right now. So that's the way you got to maneuver with it. Don't be too expecting on it, like moving on a schedule. Like, oh, I'm expecting it to happen now. I'm doing this now. I gotta
exactly.
do
Like,
this at a certain time, and I'm waiting for it to happen at this certain time.
oh yeah, like
It's like you're putting yourself in your own trap.
I realized that everything that you want is already putting out there. Say you think about, oh, I'm gonna get money this day, or you just think about money this way. If you handle it in the right moment, say like you wanted this thing that you wanted, right? Like money or whatever. Say you're just doing everything, like you're just chilling or whatever. The way you handle your energy, it may cause it to like manifest. Because I remember when I was working, like it was like a year ago, I would just work and just do what I need to do and just chill, not even think too much about it and shit. And he would just randomly give you money like $20 or whatever, or they'll give me something. These things just manifested by itself. So whatever you want is already putting out there. You just got to just allow it to like be. You know what I'm saying? Like your mind is like a wheel, like a very fast wheel. You don't want to like start the engine of it because it's gonna keep on going. That could like cause resistance and shit. So, you know.
That's what most people don't talk about. They just tell you to overexert yourself. They don't tell you that because it's going to come off as if you're quote unquote lazy. So they don't want to tell you to just sit back.
Exactly. You got to do that one thing that puts you out there. That shit, like protecting your energy or whatever. It's only that one thing. You don't got to do all this multiple ass shit. You know what I'm saying? All you
This
really
is why I
got.
said the way that I live my life is just different from the norm. Because I don't be forcing it. I don't be overdoing nothing. I just be chilling. Even though I put in a lot of work, I be chilling at the same time, like I balance.
Exactly. I noticed that when I done so much or for people, that shit always backfired. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure you noticed that too. Like when you done so much, especially with people like that shit backfired. So you gotta like,
Yeah.
be careful.
Yep, I learned the hard way, but
Yeah, I just want to do it in the present because I noticed in the present, that's when everything it almost occurred. Like it was the breakthroughs, you know. Like when you like being in the present moment, especially through like time, you can feel like your energetic body's like activating and you feel like sensations around like your chakras and all that stuff going around your spine. Like you can just feel yourself like connecting with like the your higher self and all that other shit. You know what I'm saying? Because every time I was on the present, I always felt like I was about to connect to something. You know what I'm saying?
I just found the perfect middle ground with it. Because either you can literally not do anything, or it's like you can overdo stuff.
Exactly. I told that person, just put that one thing out there. And that's it. If you know it works and it helps people and whatever, just put that shit out there. But if you put on all that shit that you don't have to do, that's just gonna like make you do extra shit that you really don't gotta do and shit. Just put that one thing out there that you know is that it works and it's good. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to understand. Don't do all this extra shit. You know.
And it's like when you're more present, it's like you're more tapped into the subconscious.
Mm-hmm.
So everything is basically flowing naturally at that point.
Oh yeah, I noticed that when I'm more present, I could just feel things like coming. Like I could like predict certain things. I could like feel it. I could feel the emotions. And this just happens on its own. That's why you get downloads. Like it's a deep subconsciousness. Like people think it's some like force field or thing out there, but I think it's just subconsciousness, like the deepness of and the depthness of
You basically
things.
got to put yourself on autopilot and just let everything flow.
Mm-hmm. And what I learned to do, I learned how to like work. I know how to slow things down. Cause I used to like rush through things, but I know how to slow down. And I know how to like move fast when everything's going slow. Like it's just crazy, you know.
The same with me. I'm able to get a lot of stuff done in a short matter of time.